Coming to you from the Black Goat 39 studios, this is the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast, episode 142. Now here's your host, the Guru of Sports. What the hell? All right, now, folks, you know that I always have messed up everything like usual. This is not a perfect podcast like I usually do. You know, Katie Guru was supposed to be here, and he ain't here running the boards again, so, that's a different story. Okay, hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 142 of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. I am your host, the Guru of Sports, and if you can hear in the background, the applause is up there, and the applause is up there for one reason and one reason only. Today, I have a special guest in the house. Now, we all know what today is. Today is Ohio State, Michigan, and to be fair, guess what? The Guru has invited one of his best friends and a Michigan guy, to say the least. My man, Robb, from the 321 is in the house. Robb, how are you today?
Mac, this is like Christmas. Every November, there's always one day which is better than Christmas, and it is the Michigan-Ohio State game. In the last 22 years, it's all been dominated by the Buckeyes. 18 victories and only 2 defeats. The 2 defeats happened in 2003, 2011, and last year in 2021. Think about that. 2003, 2011, 2021. You can all thank, as Michigan fans, we can all thank John Cooper for that. We used to thank him because he was always our favorite coach to coach against. Now, since he's left, we still have to thank him for all the misery that he put us through the last 22 plus years. But hey, this is going to be our season again. I told you, Mac, when we were talking about coming on the podcast, that why don't you ask me the last week of the season when we were both 11-0. And you said to me, he goes, I don't know if either one of us will be 11-0. And I said, Mac, it will happen. Sure enough, here we are, November 26, 2022. Michigan, number 3, 11-0. Ohio State, 11-0. Here we are.
Oh, man. Robb, it is an honor, a pleasure, and I am so glad you joined me here. Now, I want you guys to know that first of all, I want to give you the applause, the proper applause that didn't go off. I mean, like I said, you know how this is. All right, the proper applause here. Now, like I said, this is not a perfect podcast like usual. The thing is that Katie Guru's supposed to be here, and I don't know where he's at. He went, I think he's working today. Yeah, I think he's working again today. So, anyway, Robb, I really appreciate it. Now, Robb, I want you to tell everyone out there how we got to be friends and how did we get, we connected.
Well, if people don't know, I've been listening to the DA show since 2017, around 2017, for almost 5 years now. Excuse me. Little post throughs, little ruffle there, but everything's good to go. No COVID.
No problem.
No, it's all good. So we hooked up through Twitter, actually. I'm like, who's this guy? I hear this guy, Mac DA's reading these tweets from Mac and Bear. I'm like, this guy seems like a cool cat. So, friended you, followed me, followed you. got to know each other a little bit better, found out you're a Buckeye fan, and like you said, this is not the perfect podcast. So you asked me, like, who do you follow? And you saw that I had in my banner the Michigan Big Ten Championship banner. You're like, okay, so this guy's got to be the most imperfect, perfect friend that I could possibly have. So, and then some people may or may not know, you know, people on Twitch, there are a different breed of chaos there.
Yes.
But you know,
yes.
they're the only 4-hour chat that actually goes on. But there is a deep dive underground chat that goes on. But we don't discuss that. That's to be discussed only with our select group.
Exactly.
The imperfect, perfect, the aliens that has been in existence since before 2000. So that's how I got with that, and I asked a couple of the heavy hitters you all probably know, Dixieland Dan, Reed Phillips, a.k.a. Fatty Crackers. I'm like, we need to add some fresh blood to our insane asylum posse that we have, and Mac is one of the newest the aliens in the group, and he brings a lot to the table. And I always crack up when you always give a thumbs up to somebody. I'm like, that could be the most, what's the word I want to say? The most sarcastic possible response. I
thought it was being cool. I'm serious. I thought it was just being cool. I didn't mean it to be sarcastic ever. Never.
No, sorry. I always say, throw up the fire emoji, throw up the like, throw up the heart emoji. I'm like, that throws up too many thumbs up.
All right, I'll start throwing up more hearts. I really don't like the fire. Okay, if I throw up the fire, that means it's hot. You know, Rob, I don't like the saying, "Oh, that's fire." That's kind of old or played out for me. But you know, it's just funny because I thought I was just being nice and. Oh my God!
It's funny. It could be the nicest, but it could be the biggest dismissive response to somebody's.
No. I never want to be dismissed.
Even on Facebook too, because Facebook is kind of could be a little ridiculous too as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here. You know, it's like this rivalry is right now as it stands. If you don't know, for you sports guru fans out there, it's Michigan with 59 victories. Ohio State has 52, and there's 6 ties in the rivalry. The actual longest winning streak, I do believe, is like 9 games. That's like Michigan back in the early 1900s. Recently, it's been Ohio State with 8 straight consecutive victories from 2011. They didn't play it in 2020.
Yeah.
Due to a COVID year, but who's to really say? Can I say that it was Michigan that decided they didn't want to play because they didn't lose again? It's possible.
Yeah.
But there was talk that they wanted to put that game. I don't know if you know this, but when they decided that they were going to have a season, they were going to put that game in October just so the game could be played. But then the Ohio State and the Michigan traditionalists said that, no, that game should be played in the last weekend in November before the season ends. But that's the only time that they haven't played, you know, not even during a world war they played.
Yeah, you know, and that's the thing is that, I really, now I want you to know that I don't hate Michigan. I don't hate Michigan only because it's conference love. I love the conference. The Big Ten Conference is the best conference in America. I'm not saying that just because, both of us right now have a chance to go into the playoffs. I say that because, like my home state, Maryland, is in the Big Ten Conference now. And, it's like I do follow, Rutgers too. Rutgers hasn't been that great in the Big Ten, but, it's good when you can go into areas of the country where it's Big Ten country, and, one thing that we do in the Big Ten, we play each other no matter what. Now, we're not going to be like the SEC playing, Austin P or UAB or the Little Sisters of the Poor.
Or Lamar.
Exactly.
Lamar's a trucking school.
Yeah, so. Exactly. We don't do that in the Big Ten. We play each other for battle. We have the rights to say that, hey, look, we came through this conference, and whoever wins the championship, I congratulate them, and we move on. So that's where I stand with the Big Ten. I wasn't really, since I was a young kid, I liked Ohio State from the beginning, but Maryland was in the ACC, and hey, I had love for the ACC. I never had love for the SEC at all. So
I don't think anybody has, except maybe our southern fans, our southern friends that are SEC. I call them the SEC honks, because it's like down here where I'm at, Florida, you got your Gators, you got your Alabama. I don't see it's either Florida or Alabama or your teams down here. You see maybe a handful of Clemson teams. I see more Michigan and Ohio State fans than I do see any other teams from the Big Ten anywhere, especially down here where I live in Central Florida.
Yeah. Now, and I wanted to mention to everybody that he is located in Central Florida, around like the Orlando area, somewhere around in there.
I am located in 321, which is the Space Coast. So if you pay attention to the space program, Cape Canaveral, I'm right there. I see all the rocket launches take off from my backyard. If I want to get to the beach, I'm closer to Cocoa Beach. So I am as East Coast in the state of Florida that you're going to get. It takes me 20 minutes. It takes me 10 minutes to get to the beach from wherever I'm at.
That's pretty cool. And you know what I wanted to say to you also, I'm glad that, when that storm, that hurricane hit, I kept in touch with you. I wanted to make sure that you and your family were okay. And, like I said, we up here on the East Coast, like I said, I'm closer to that team up north, Philadelphia, and I worry about you guys down there, because I have you guys are down there. I have a couple relatives down there. Wife's sister or wife's friend, good friend, is down there too. So we always make sure that we reach out to all our Florida peeps. Actually, one of my podcast sister lives down there, Mary Mack. I'll talk about her later after we finish up. But like I said, I'm really glad that you made it in here, and we can talk about these games. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do something a little bit different. Now, we usually pick the NFL games in the second half. What we're going to do, me and Rob are going to pick these games early. We're going to go to the NFL games early, and then we're going to go to the college games. And the last game that we'll talk about is Ohio State, Michigan, and that's going to wrap the show. So
I got some news about that game for you, so I'll save it for last.
I think I know what the news is.
There's no excuses to be made now.
I know.
No excuses to be made.
I think I already know what it is, and I seen him warming up. Is that it?
There's 5 guys that were out the last couple of games. All those 5 guys will be playing and suited up today for the, as Keith Jackson would say, the Michigan Wolverines from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Go to Columbus to play the Buckeyes of Ohio State.
And I think both Henderson and Williams is back, but I know that number 2 for the Blue is back as well. So I already know. We'll talk about that game at length here in the last segment. All right, so what we're going to do right now is go to something that I've just started, and I'm going to call this "The Guru is Always Right." Check out this clip. It's live download. So, okay, so let's get into the picks of the week. Naturally, Guru's perfect for the whole season. Hasn't missed a pick. And he's done his job. He's really, like I said, the Guru's always right, right? Okay, now, I got also, like I said, I'm going to make sure that I give you the Thanksgiving Thanksgiving Day picks and odds for Thanksgiving. Okay. First off, Chicago is going to Atlanta to play the Falcons. And at this point, I think Arthur Smith has done a great job. But I like to see what Justin Fields has got. And now I'm going to... Okay, now if you remember that I said that Atlanta would win that game, and they did. Atlanta won that game, right, Rob?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, yeah. See, the Guru is always right. The Guru is always right. He picks all the right games.
That's the game that, isn't that the game that Fields got hurt in?
Yeah, it was.
He's banged up.
Yeah, he's...
I have my takes on Ohio State quarterbacks in the pros, so...
Yeah, me too. And you know, actually, I had to actually text DA or get in touch with DA, and I asked him this question: do you think Justin Fields is going to be okay? And he said, yeah. He said, yeah, he should be okay. I was worried because honestly, there's no Ohio State fan, or as an Ohio State fan, there's no Ohio State quarterback that's been really good in the NFL.
So, and I've been saying that for the longest time. I've been banging that drum with Buckeye fans. There's this one friend that I have. She's she's a Walmart brand Ohio State fan, which means she didn't go to the university, but because she lives out there, she's possibly moving down here. So I'm like, show me an NFL Buckeye quarterback that's ever won a Super Bowl. And
there's none.
It's just, there's none. I mean, yeah, you got, of course, Tom Brady, the GOAT of all time. That's it. He's won 7. So there's no discussion on that one.
Yeah, well, I can't argue with that. I mean, he's the best. I mean, and even though that, he did go to your school, I have to give him credit. Now, one of my favorite people of all time is Dana Jacobson. Yep. And, me and her, we share the same birthday. And, I love her. She's the greatest. But she wore blue today on the show on this morning, CBS this morning. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I knew why she was wearing blue. But anyway,
she's a Michigan grad.
Exactly. Of all... Oh gosh! Every week I watch her, and like I said, I really, really enjoy her. She is probably one of the best sports and news commentary ladies of all time.
I remember her on Cold Pizza. And
yes.
She had to issue. Yes. She went to the roast of Mike and Mike, and you remember what happened with that. She had to go on TV and she had to apologize for what she said about Touchdown Jesus and everything else. So yeah, that was the end of Dana Jacobson with ESPN, and then she started with CBS Sports Radio. She was one of the pioneers.
Yes. It was. I remember from the beginning. It was BT, Tiki, and Dana, and that was. Right. The beginning. And like I said, from, listening to CBS Sports Radio for the longest time, you can remember some of the old shows and, the show that Bogish was on with, I can't think of his name, John Feinstein. Right. And I listened to all those, the Moose and Brian Jones and all these guys. It was a great show. Great lineups and everything. And like I said, I caught the DA show right at the end of when he was finishing up overnights. And that's when I started listening to him. Because I always remember something about, what the hell is a hole snapper? And I was like, wait a minute, this is kind of interesting to hear. And every day they would play all the little cuts and stuff like that. And I was like, man, this is a pretty cool show to listen to. So I started listening to them then.
I found CBS Sports Radio when I moved down to Florida because I was always a Mike and Mike guy. I didn't listen before I found Mike and Mike. I don't know if you remember it. It was Sporting News Radio.
Exactly.
I used to get all my sports stuff from, because there was a time where I get myself a self-ban from ESPN. And then I decided to do something new. So I'm like, I found Sporting News Radio. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then I came back to Mike, and then the whole thing, once we moved down to Florida, there was no affiliate, that I could get. And I flipping through the stations. There's 1560 The Fan in Melbourne, Florida. And I'm like, CBS Sports Radio. So I'm like, oh, let me give these guys a chance. And it was Gio and Jones. And I'm not going to lie, I thought those two guys were the most boring show of all. They were so boring.
Yeah.
They were so boring. And then Raz and the Moose came.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, being a wrestling fan, I always knew Taz from the WWE, ECW, his time there, and then with TNA.
Yeah.
And then I would catch DA in the air from 9 to 12, and that's when I really started, to say, okay, this is where I'm going to stay now. This is it. I'd listen to Taz, and I think I was the only alien that actually listened to Taz and the Moose and actually called in sometimes, because Taz would say, we got from the great state of Florida, we got Robb in Florida. Robb, good morning, kind of deal. And
oh man,
there was one moment on that show. I'll make that part real quick, where I was listening and Moose was basically discredited when you became champion. If I would not want to have been in that studio that day, because Taz was pissed. Taz was heated. He's like, "You want to go down this road? You want to go down this road?" He's like, when a company decides to put a title on you, he goes, that means they're trusting you that you're over. Because it was Taz and Spike Dudley. They had some chemistry back with them, back in their ECW days. And he's like, "Do you want to go down this road? You want to go down this road?" And Taz was like, he goes, "That's it." Taz was like, "Let's everybody just play nice, okay? We'll just play nice from now on." And Pete, I guarantee you, if you ask Pete the Body, because I know he was in the studio that day because he was their producer, and Bogish, he would tell you that was that show, I think, was the beginning of the end of Taz and the Moose.
Wow. That's something else. But I tell you,
for sure.
Now,
100%.
I wanted to ask you this. Now, you said you brought up Sporting News Radio. Now, I remember them when I was back on the West Coast. I used to listen to a guy named Papa Joe Chevalier. Do you remember that name?
That name does sound familiar, but I remember it was Murray in the Morning, and then Rick Wheeler, and then Rick Ballou, and then Overnights.
Rick Ballou. I remember Rick Ballou.
Overnights, he was a Boston guy. And then Overnights was Chris Russell, WrestleMania, who's working for 106.7 in D.C. He covers the Redskins for the CBS Sports Radio affiliate. He's a good dude. Yeah.
And, and like I said, the origins of sports radio has been, it's been outrageous, and it's been like a really, really great journey, because like I said, I've been listening to, when I lived out on the West Coast, I listened to Rome for the longest time, and and 690, Extra Sports 690, where you got what is his name, Chet 40, and all these other guys. That's how I kind of remember reaching out in the sports radio and listening to. And then Jim Rome used to do a local show on a radio CBS affiliate, and it was only for an hour, like right after his main show, and it was a LA show. So I mean, it's like sports radio has been like so dynamic, and it's really intriguing, because I look at it as, one of the things that is probably, I know it's a really important part of my life, because like I said, this is how I fell in love with sports, and sports radio has been really, really, influential in my life. And it gives branches out to where we all see all the connections. And like I said, that's kind of like the connection where that brought me and you together as friends, and it's really, really, really a great thing. I think it makes friends for everyone all over the country, even up in Canada, people that you don't even know, you get to, talk to and meet and everything. And like I said, man, I wanted to make sure I say this. I wrote out a tweet the other day. I'm thankful for everyone that I have connections with, talking to, even if I haven't never met you. I really appreciate it. I'm very thankful for all the, connections I have with all the people out there. And I really appreciate you bringing me into your group. And I really appreciate, just being a part of the D Alien family as well. So thank you.
You're a perfect fit. We need
I am.
Oh, you're a perfect fit. You're the elder statesman.
Oh.
Of the group. It was a tie between Lewis and I. We're like, wait, Mac, how old are you?
Yeah,
the elder statesman now.
I'm not going to take. Well, some of us know my real age, but people out there, the podcast people, they know that, I'm a little bit older and I got a little bit of knowledge because, sometimes I even mention to Katie and Guru some of these things and he's like, what? What is that? I told him, I said, hey, you know what a record player is? He said, what is that? All right, I'll tell you what. We're going to take a little quick break, and we're going to come back with the NFL picks of the week. And, my man Robb is here, and I really appreciate you, Robb. And let's take a break right quick, and we'll be back on the other side. And first off is our voice actress lady. She's going to say something for us right quick. And just hold on a second. We'll be right back. This is episode 142 of the Guru Talking Sports Podcast.
You're listening to the Guru Talking Sports Podcast.
All right, guys. Welcome back to the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. This is episode 144 or 143. Oh, I'm sorry. 142. I know. I'm jumping ahead of myself. I'm so excited because, like I said, I have a special guest on my line, my office line right now. My man Robb from down in Florida, and he's here. And like I told you guys before, I am a very fair guru. I'm a very fair guy. He is a Michigan fan, and I welcomed him into the podcast today because we promised that we will both hopefully be sitting here at 11-0, and we are. And I congratulate you for a great season. And I want to tell you that right now because at the end of the day, one of us is going to be crying. And hopefully it's not me.
It's going to be you.
Archie Griffin is on the show right now if you're watching College Game Day.
Two-time Heisman Trophy never lost to Michigan. The gold pants.
The legend. When we talk about great Ohio State, I'm not going to go into all this, but, Archie Griffin is probably one of the reasons why I started following Ohio State. Also have a little story that I'll get into later on about a very, very special person, may rest in peace, that influenced me to be an Ohio State fan as well. So, all right, I'll tell you what we're going to do right now, me and Rob are going to go to the NFL picks of the week because we have a bunch of college games that we have to get through, and it's about 11:20, so we got to keep moving because we're gonna, hey, we got a big game we got to watch a little bit later at 12 o'clock. Okay, so
yes, we do.
All right, so right now I'm gonna go to voice actress lady. She has a little something to say, and we're gonna go right into it.
And now it's time for Guru's Picks of the Week.
Thank you, voice actress lady. She's really, really nice. Really nice lady, really nice voice. And I picked her because she is really, really a good person. And, she works with me. So,
And you pay her well.
Exactly. Okay, so, Rob, I know that we got a lot of games. Now, this week is kind of different because there's no buys this week, right?
No, I don't think so because we had the three Thursday games. We had the Bills and the Lions, the Cowboys and the Giants and the Vikings and the Patriots.
That's right. And
all outcomes I didn't think were going to happen.
And the Guru picked all those right. So the Guru is actually perfect for the whole season. Rob, I'm going to give you the first game of the pick from, and like I said, my record is impeccable, undefeated, and Houston is going into Miami, and Miami's a 14-point favorite. Who do you like in that game? Rob, you there?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I cleared my throat. My bad.
That's okay. No.
So you're talking about the Texans and the Miami Dolphins. The Texans are sitting at 1-8-1.
Yeah.
And you got the Dolphins sitting at 7-3. They're on the path. Texans and the Dolphins. Dolphins are looking pretty good. When Tua came out, I was like, this guy is not going to be an NFL quarterback, and the only reason why they were talking about him as a number one pick is because of the pass that he threw in the championship game against Georgia. If he had threw that ball incomplete, we would not be talking about Tua the way that we are now today. End of story, period. But I think the Dolphins will definitely cover the 14.
Oh, yeah. I
definitely cover that spread for sure.
Definitely. I actually played this on BetMGM. All these picks are from BetMGM because they actually started legally sports gambling on your phone in the state of Maryland. So I usually, I live in Delaware. So what I do is I creep down to Maryland. And, I actually work in Maryland, so I have no problem of actually playing down in Maryland now. And, Ms. Guru, she doesn't know that I actually have an account with BetMGM. And I also have one with Caesars, too. So, all right. So I'm going to go with you on this one with Miami. All right. The next one is Atlanta is going into Washington, and Washington is a 4-point favorite. Who you like in that one?
I think I'm going to stick with the favorite. I'm going to stick with Washington. I think Atlanta, Marcus Mariota, former Heisman Trophy winner, hasn't really lived up to his potential. And you got the Taylor Heineke, you're running on the Heineke train up in Washington. That whole division from the NFC East is now like the NFC Beast the way it used to be. Every team is over 500. I'm sticking with Washington. I think they'll definitely cover that 4.5.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I like Washington. Heineke, I have him on one of my fantasy teams, and I think that he's going to do good. So I'm definitely going to go with you on that one. Okay, Tampa Bay is a 3.5-point favorite. They're going into Cleveland. And this is Cleveland's final game with Jacoby Brissett because that guy is coming back next week. And we don't mention his name on this program because of all the inhumane things that he has done. So who you like on that one?
You got to go with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They're sitting there at 5-5. Cleveland's sitting there at 3-7. Their season is pretty much. If Cleveland could possibly pull this one out and get back to having their starter that they paid a guaranteed contract to, which was kind of insane.
Yeah.
That could help them. That quarterback could help them back. But I really think that Tampa Bay sitting at 5-5, if they have any hopes of getting into the playoffs, or even as an outside wild card, or even because that NFC South division is just trash. They're going to need this game. I think Tampa should cover by at least 7.
Exactly. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay because I definitely can't go against Tom Brady. I think I have him on one of my fantasy teams too. So, like last week I lost in fantasy. One of my teams lost and one of them won. So I didn't have, because Tom Brady was on bye, and also had Geno Smith, and my team was just terrible. Okay, so I'm going with Tampa Bay. Here's one that sparks my interest because I actually like both these teams. Baltimore is a 4-point favorite going into Jacksonville. You know how I feel about Jacksonville, right? Yeah.
One of my good buddies, Justin, he lives up in Wisconsin. He's originally from Florida. He's a Jaguars fan, and he's I think he's given up on the season. He's waiting till he gets back to Florida. But you got the Ravens and John Harbaugh and Mike McDonald and that defense that stymied that Ohio State offense last year. Ravens are coming on. Lamar Jackson is playing like an MVP. You just got to take Jack. You just have to take the Ravens. I see the Ravens line is 3. It's 3.5. You got to take the Ravens and the points on this one.
I don't think the Jaguars are going to keep this close. I like ATM, and I like everything that Baltimore's going to win this game. That's all it is to it. Baltimore's going to win this game.
I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I have no faith in Jacksonville or my Raiders exactly. So, okay, so we're going to move on. Denver is in Carolina, and this is an old Super Bowl matchup, but Denver is a 1.5 or a 1.5 favorite. Who do you like in this one?
You got to go with Denver. You know, if Russell Wilson can't beat Baker Mayfield, if you can't beat Baker Mayfield, then I don't think Denver. Denver has to win this game.
All right, I agree. But the Carolina defense ain't that bad. But I can't go against Denver because I really think that he might show up this week. Russell Wilson might show up. So I'm going to go with Denver as well. So we are basically all these games we didn't pick together. Okay, next one is Chicago is going into New York to play the Jets. I really like the Jets, and I like what they've done, even though that they sat Zach Wilson, which he should have been sat, and I'm glad that Mike White is getting the start. I'm going with the Jets. They got they're 6-point favorites. Who are you liking that one?
I'm going. Again, I'm not a big Bears fan, because of the rivalry and being in the NFC North. I'm going to go with the Fighting Bilotis. I'm going with the New York Jets. It should be by 6 because Justin Fields is banged up. Like, he is really hurt. He's out with a separated shoulder. So I don't think he's going to play. He's got 13 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, does Fields. But, Zach Wilson if Zach Wilson is going to be like a really good quarterback in the NFL. No quarterback out of BYU has ever really been a good quarterback. He's got 4 touchdown passes to 5 INTs. He's going to have to step up. But, it's going to be – I think the Jets under Mike White are going to have a different type of energy. So I'll go with the Jets.
Yeah.
Put them at 7-4.
I think what Robert Saleh did for that locker room was the best thing. And I'm definitely going to go with the Jets. And if they win Tuesday when I go back up to Long Island, I'm going to be wearing my green Sauce Gardner jersey. So I will tell my friends out there right now up in New York, expect to see me with that Sauce Gardner on. All right, Cincinnati is going into Tennessee. Cincinnati is a 2.5-point favorite. Who do you like in this one?
Ooh, this is going to be a close one because you got the Titans are running steam and Bengals are playing pretty well. Jamar Chase is still out from what I understand. The Bengals are sitting there at 6-4. The Titans at 7-3. Cincinnati by 2.5. I don't know. I think I would take Tennessee with the points because it's the first matchup since the division loss last year that Cincinnati had that magical run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I like Tennessee because I just picked up one of their wide receivers that was really, really hot last week. So I think with Cincinnati banged up, and there's no Joe Mixon either. So I think there's going to be a big difference. P. Ryan or whatever his name is, he had 3 touchdown passes or whatever. But still, I still like Tennessee in this game. Okay, we're going to keep moving along. Seattle is a 3.5-point favorite over the Raiders. How I feel about my Raiders. I don't think that they're going to. I'll take the 3.5 points. And I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one. Who you got?
I'd like to stay in the good graces of the matriarch of the aliens and Adriana. She is an obsessed, delusional Seahawks fan. She loves her Russell Wilson, but she loves her Seahawks more. So I think I'll stick with the Seahawks because they're playing in Seattle. That's the 4:05 game on CBS. So I'm seeing that it's a 4.5 Seattle's -4, so I think I'll stick with the Seahawks.
Okay.
I call them the Seahags just to get under everybody's skin.
All right, now I'm gonna say this. Seattle's gonna win this game, but I think that the Raiders might keep it close. I hope they can keep it close, and I'm gonna stay in the good graces of the matriarch as well. So I'm saying that, and I'm putting this on record that Seattle's gonna win this, but I like the Raiders. I'll take the points.
Smart move.
That's a smart move. Yeah. Okay. The Chargers are going into Arizona. They're a 3-point favorite. Who you like in this one?
Chargers, because whatchamacallit is coming back from injury. The little tiny tyke. Kyler Murray's coming back. You know, he's got another guaranteed contract for what reason? And the thief, Cliff Kingsbury, you know, he's just hanging around until they decide that they're going to be. Cliff Kingsbury is the Jimbo Fisher of the NFL.
Exactly. All right.
I like Justin Herbert.
I like Herbert, but I don't think that Arizona ain't going to win this game. So I'm going to definitely go with the Chargers. All right, the Rams are a 16-point underdog to Kansas City. Can you believe that?
It's going to be a 28-point game.
Wow.
Chiefs are going to win by 28.
All right.
Chiefs are sitting at 8-2. Rams, as DA had said, are the worst defending Super Bowl champions in history, non-strike season. So the Rams are, you know, as Les Snead and what's the boy wonder, Sean McVay, wearing T-shirts said that's a picks.
Yeah.
How about F the Rams?
Yeah, F the Rams too. I agree with you. I'm going with Kansas City. Going to go all off on them. San Francisco is a 9.5-point favorite over the New Orleans Saints. Who you like in that one?
I'm going to go with the fighting Dixieland bands. I'm going to go with the Saints because the Saints always seem to just one day just click and they get it. And I think this game is going to be the game that they get it. Jimmy G, you know, he's a nice QB. He's a nice QB. He's there by default. You know, Trey Lance didn't get hurt. Jimmy G who knows? Jimmy G could be the starting quarterback in Detroit. But, you know, I always thought that he would have been a good pick there. But no, I think I'll go with the Saints and they'll actually shock.
All right.
That's the Sunday 4:25 Fox game that probably I'll get down here. It's so weird how football works down here because we're so close. We're closer to Jacksonville than we are Miami. So I'll see a Jacksonville game before a Miami game, but I'll see Tampa Bay all day.
Wow.
That's how. Because Jacksonville from where I am from Orlando is about 160 miles, where Orlando from Miami is like over 200.
Yeah.
So you'll get the closer of the two games. And Tampa and Orlando is about 155 miles. So that's how that works. If you didn't know that as to why you're living in Florida, you don't see the Dolphins play.
Wow.
That's how they do it.
Now, you know that's crazy because I want to say this. I live in Bear, which is right outside of Newark, Delaware. Now, if I lived in Newark, Delaware, I would be able to catch Baltimore stations and Philadelphia stations. But I live in Bear, which is like maybe a mile over. I only catch Philadelphia games. And I really don't want to watch the Eagles, excuse the expression.
Sure.
But I would rather watch the Ravens a lot more, you know, so that's kind of weird. But I think I'm gonna go with San Francisco only because I think New Orleans can keep it close with the points, but I think San Francisco has the edge on them. So I hate to say it, but I do root for the New Orleans Saints, though. And I'm sorry, Dan, that I had to pick, though. The 8 o'clock I'm sorry. The 8 o'clock game is Green Bay at Philadelphia. I'm going with Green Bay. I know that they're gonna be saying something. Who are you liking that game?
I like Philly. I can't stand Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is just the world's largest crybaby.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he just can't. He wants to blame his receivers, but you know, who's throwing the ball?
Exactly.
If you make the throw, maybe get a haircut, cut off your douche knot because you are a douche. You know, you got your little Zen looking like ponytail, like
a punch of karma.
You look like a hobo. Go back, cut your hair, maybe get a girlfriend. You know, like maybe you should go back to Olivia Munn because when you were dating Olivia Munn, you actually won a Super Bowl. You actually were good.
Jeez, Olivia Munn.
Dude, look at the list of ladies that he's.
I know.
Ladies that he's Olivia Munn.
Danica Patrick.
Danica Patrick, and who was the other chick? Shyla LaHoo. I don't even remember her. She's like a D-list actress.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, but find somebody, dude. Come on.
She played on that Pretty Little Lies or what was the name of that show? Oh, jeez, I can't remember that show. But I know what you're talking about.
What's next? Winona Ryder from Stranger Things?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
I'm going with the upside down mics. I'm going with the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is just going to make. They're playing in Philly. Yeah, forget it. Aaron Rodgers is going to crumble he's going to crumble like a graham cracker house the day after Christmas.
You know, and the thing is, Philadelphia's got the better team, and you know, I'm gonna change my pick. I'm gonna go with Philadelphia only because. I don't want a whole bunch of people calling me up and asking me questions and jumping on me. Okay, so and plus I had to get in the good graces of Miss Guru, so I'm gonna go with Philadelphia on that one. Okay, the last one, the Monday night game is Indianapolis is a 2.5-point favorite. I don't know why over Pittsburgh. Who you like?
Well, the Colts are at home. Steelers have had a very horrible season, you know, as Pete. You got to fight Kenny Pickett. He's got the quarterback over Mason Rudolph, and I think I'm gonna go. I think I'll go with the Colts in this one, only because Jeff Saturday's on a 2-game win streak, and he's fighting for. Who knows? Maybe Jim Irsay will keep him, but I think the Colts will cover that 2.5 because the Steelers. This is the worst Steelers team in the last 30 years.
Yeah, I still think that Pittsburgh, with Mike Tomlin, still can probably pull this one out. I'm definitely going to take. I'm going to take the 2.5 points, and I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. Okay.
I almost called him Mike McCarthy.
I know you. I heard you.
I had to think of his name for a second.
There you go.
Never means never. Never means never, but never.
All right. So we're done with the NFL picks. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to a break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to do the college picks. And then what I'm going to do is me and Rob going to wrap that up, college picks, and we're going to talk about the game. And then what I'm going to do at the back end is go to news and notes, and then I'm going to talk about fantasy and all that stuff after we do our picks. Is that okay with you, Rob?
That's good.
Because I know that you got some... Huh?
We got 20 minutes till kickoff.
All right, 20 minutes. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take this break right quick, and then we'll be right back. And like I said, we're going to go to the college picks, and we're only going to do a couple of them. You're listening to the Guru Talking Sports Podcast, episode 142. We'll be right back right after this. All right, guys, welcome back to the Guru Talking Sports Podcast. This is episode 142. We only got a couple minutes left. I have a couple minutes left with my man Rob. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the college picks. This is the first time we're actually doing college picks on the program because of the big game today between my Ohio State Buckeyes and Rob's Michigan Wolverines. So, Rob, how about we do this? How about if we go to the Washington State game right now? What is that for? That's for the eggs or something like that?
No, the eggs is Mississippi State.
Oh, that's right.
This
the
is
Egg Bowl.
The Apple Cup.
Apple Cup, that's right.
You got number 13. You got number 13 Washington sitting there at 9-2. Washington State, you know, the fighting. Who's there? Oh my gosh, who's
Washington?
The coach? Oh, that's Mississippi State. He was with Mississippi State.
Oh, Mike Leach.
Yeah, Mike Leach is the former Mike Leach's.
There
you got Washington State sitting at 7-4. That is the 10:30 game on ESPN tonight for the Apple Cup. Washington, all they got to do is they got to win and they got to hope for some losses ahead of them, and they'll be playing in the Pac-12 title game because they don't have divisions anymore.
Yeah.
So I think I'll go with Washington. But in the last couple of years, Washington State has been able to pull the upset over a ranked Washington team. So I think Washington's a 2.5 favorite. I think I'll stick with Washington in this game.
Okay. I'm going to go with Washington State only because they actually have played pretty good ball this year. And, well, you know what? Washington did upset Oregon. So I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to go with Washington State. Okay. We got Oregon State. Who you like in that one?
Well, Oregon's got 2 losses. They're sitting there. So even if they win the Pac-12, they get into the conference game, they're not going to get into the playoffs. So Oregon State sitting there at 8-3. This is going to be a close game. This is going to be the 3:30 game after on ABC. I think I might go with the Beavers. I might go with the Fighting Ocho Cinco's. Chad Johnson played at Oregon State. So I think I'll go with Oregon State in the upset.
I think I'm going to go with the upset, too. I like Oregon State. My buddy, Earl, he played basketball there for years ago. I forget his Earl Martin, I think his last name is. But anyway, he played with Gary Payton up there. So,
the glove.
Yes, I'm gonna definitely go with Oregon State on that one. Okay, Georgia Tech. We really don't. That's a 35-point favorite. Georgia's gonna win that game, right?
Yeah, they're the defending reigning champs, sitting there at 11-0. Georgia Tech fighting for a bowl spot. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Georgia Tech will not cover the 36.
No, not at all.
I'm going with Georgia.
Okay. All right. We got South Carolina and Clemson. Who you got? I hate Dabo Swinney because he talked crap about Ohio State, and guess what? Ohio State came out and beat their butt. I'm going with South Carolina. Who you got?
I'm going with South Carolina too. What they did to Tennessee was
unbelievable.
Possibly unbelievable. And I think Spencer Rattler is a better quarterback than DJ Ungululele.
Yeah.
I mean, Clemson's in there at 10-1. But the ACC is a weak conference right now. I mean, they beat a Florida State team that wasn't any good at the time. Florida State is now sitting there at 9-3. I mean, that's looks better on their resume. But at the time, I do have family ties to Clemson. My cousins, I have a couple of cousins that have gone there. I think I'm going with South Carolina and the upset.
Okay. Me too. I don't like Dabo Swinney at all. Auburn and Alabama, the Iron Bowl. Who you got in that one? A 22-point favorite for Alabama? Woo.
They're playing at Alabama. Auburn is sitting there at 5-6. They've been under duress the entire year. Brian Harsin getting the boot. The talk is that Hugh Freeze, the former Ole Miss head coach, that's the reason why Shea Patterson transferred to Michigan because of the turmoil that was happening at Ole Miss. And the current Liberty head coach is going to be the next head coach at Ole Miss. I'm going to go with Alabama in this game because that's a no-brainer. And I just want to throw this one in here. You got TCU, number 4 in the playoff, playing Iowa State. Iowa State, you can't look past Iowa State. They could pull the upset. TCU with a win will get into the Big 12 championship game. And also, what Texas can get into the Big 12 title game is if you have a Kansas State loss to Kansas in that game.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have Texas and TCU playing again. They only played a couple weeks ago in a very close game. You could see that matchup in a Big 12 title game.
Yeah, that should be really, really good. All right, we're going to keep moving. LSU is a 10-point favorite over, what is that, Texas A&M? Texas A&M is done.
Can I finish? This is Jimbo Fisher. I got to tell you right now, I got to take LSU because Jimbo Fisher, when I don't like the coach anymore, I'm just going to quit. So let me finish. Okay? Let me finish. I'm sitting there at 4-7. I got a $90 million buyout. I think I might just finish the season 4-8. Brian Kelly and LSU finish 10-2 and get to the championship game in the SEC against Georgia.
There you go.
If you heard that little inset, that was my daughter.
I hear you. Hey,
She
Kelly.
goes, we get it. You like football.
I got you.
was-
All right, LSU's gonna win that game. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna keep.
That's the 7 p.m. ESPN game.
Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna keep moving. Notre Dame, USC. Who you like? I like Notre Dame.
They are playing this in Southern California in the Coliseum. Notre Dame has been a spoiler this year. They're sitting there at 8-2, 8-3, and number 15, USC, is sitting on the doorstep of their first college football playoff. They need the victory more than Notre Dame does. But I think we're going to go with Notre Dame. It's going to be a great game. I think I'm going to try to stay up to watch that game later tonight.
Yeah.
But I think I'll go with Notre Dame. I think Marcus Freeman and his the Fighting Irish are going to get it done against USC, which is going to knock them out of the playoff, the top six, which now leads us to a game.
The game. All right, I was going to go with Syracuse, BCU, and Pitt, Miami. Yeah, we don't have to do
trash.
that. All trash. Okay. All right, here we go. This is it. The big one. The big game of the season. All right, Rob. You got it. You got the floor.
When I was talking to you, Mac, you asked me when I wanted to come on the podcast. I'm like, there's only one weekend that would only be the best weekend for me to come on, and that would be us going into this game. And I said, there's only one way for this to work and work out well, is if we are both sitting there at 11-0. And this is the first time since 2006 that Michigan and Ohio State are both 11-0. Michigan is sitting there at number 3. Ohio State is sitting there at number 2. This was before the playoff rankings ever existed. It was 1 and 2. It was the day after Bo Schembechler passed away.
Yes.
Ray Hayes' assistant led Michigan to 13 Big Ten championships, had a 5-4-1 record in the 10-year war. Did not have a losing season against Ohio State in his career. This is for all the big marbles, but there is a chance that the loser of this game still can get into the playoffs with some, as we like to call in college football, chaos.
Yeah.
Which only makes it that much better. Ohio State is sitting, as last I saw, as an 8.5-point favorite in Columbus, where Michigan has not won a game in Columbus since Tom Brady was the quarterback at Michigan. That was a 38-24 victory
Wow.
for the Wolverines. Yes. Here we are.
Oh.
My prediction is going to be an old-fashioned smash-mouth game. Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, Luke Schoonmaker, Mike Morris, Trevor Keegan, all are in uniform and will play today, according to Sam Webb of the Michigan Insider. So there's no excuses to be made for the Michigan Wolverines, and there is no excuses to be had for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Oh my
The
God.
Buckeyes are banged up. They're banged up. Some of the receivers, you're going to rely on Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes.
There's number 18 in honor of his father's pro quarterback, Peyton Manning, who made him a Hall of Famer, in case you didn't know that. That's why he wears number 18.
Exactly.
My prediction for this game will be Michigan 24, Ohio State 21. And it will be run on the ground.
Exactly. Okay, now you done made your point, and I agree. It's going to be 28-24 Ohio State, only because I think that what's going to happen is that Marvin Harrison is going to take a pass from C.J. Stroud and go in for the winning touchdown. I like Ohio State because in this game, it's for all the marbles. And like I said, hey, you were right. Because when you guys lose today, you guys might still make it in. So I'm saying, I have that faith.
You guys are the best one loss. If we lose, if either one of us lose, we are the best one loss team out there.
And that's why, like I said, Rob, we are the best conference because we have true college playoff experience. We are the best. We are the best conference in the United States, because guess what? We don't play Austin P. We don't play Lamar. We play each other, and this game means something. Definitely means something. And I'm still gonna go with my Ohio State guys. But like I want to tell you this. I want to say this. I wish you the best of luck today on your team. And like I said, the Guru is fair. The Guru is fair. I said, we couldn't. I could have said, hey, you know what? Well, I can't invite a Michigan guy into my house right now. But I did. And you know what, Rob? I really appreciate you. Really appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me on, man. It couldn't have been scripted any more perfect for the last Saturday in November for the biggest rivalry in all of college football. If you have Valley Sports, they have done a magnificent rivalry show called Rivals.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
The first one they did was Michigan Ohio State.
Yeah,
could not have done it any better.
I think I have that on the Big Ten Network. I'll definitely check that out when I can. But I want to say this to you, Rob. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Your knowledge is impeccable, and I'm glad that I had you on, because sometimes the Guru forgets a little bit of things, but it's good to have a good person on. And you are always welcome, even though you're a Michigan fan. You're always welcome. You are always welcome back in here. So anytime you want to come on. Matter of fact, I had Dan on earlier, the first show of the season for football. I'm gonna have you back, for Super Bowl, or we're gonna come back. Matter of fact,
we'll come back for the playoff because we'll both be in it.
Oh, that sounds great. But
here is the ultimate. We get to the playoff. We win our playoff game, and that's for the biggest bragging rights in the biggest game of the rivalry for the national championship.
Oh.
The SEC's had it. Why can't the Big Ten?
Yes, why not?
Why not us?
Exactly. Why not Ohio State win the national championship? You're right.
Why not Michigan? You don't have to beat Ohio State for a second time. It can be done.
Exactly. All right. Well, I tell you what. I know that we got about a couple minutes before the game, but I want to wrap it up with you. I'm going to finish up with the news and notes and everything, and I'm going to put a bow on this because I want to enjoy the game as much as you do. And like I said, Rob, I really, really appreciate you. You're always welcome. And like I said, if you can, try to get more D-aliens in here, because, hey, I would love to hear their point of views as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Everybody, Rob has to go, and we both have to go. But like I said, I'm going to wrap it up on the other end, but I want to say goodbye to you, Rob, and thank you. Thank you for coming in. And you guys, like I said, you got anything you want to shout out or say anything to anybody?
Yeah, man, I just got to tell you, man, go blue.
Okay. Well, we're going to end it on that. Rob, I'll be talking to you soon. And you guys, hold on a second. Rob, hold on a second. I'm going to take a break right now. Guys, you're listening to the Guru Talkin' Sports Podcast, episode 142, a special edition with my man Rob from the 321. He is a Michigan fan, and that's all we can say to that. All right, you guys hold on a second. We'll be right back. We'll wrap this up. Hold on a second. Be right back. All right, guys, welcome back to the Guru Talkin' Sports Podcast. I just want to say I really, really appreciate my special guest today, Mr. Robb Heisey. I hope I pronounced your name right, last name right. I'm sorry if I did. But anyway, I want to say thank you for him. He's like a brother to me, and I really appreciate him. And it was really, really glad to catch up with him with, talking Michigan and Ohio State. And like I said, may the best team win. We joke around a lot, but we have a lot of respect for each other. And like I said, even if we don't win today, if Ohio State does not win today, I'm still going to be rooting for his team to win the national championship or, whatever. Like I said, I can't root for any big, Big 12 team is okay. I would root for 10. I would root for TCU, but I can't root for Alabama. I can't root for Tennessee. I can't root for anybody in the SEC. I'm sorry. I can't do it. All right. I wanted to mention a few little things before I get out of here. News and notes. I got the NBA package, and I got it for $12. 4 payments of $12, which is a pretty good deal. And I get a chance to watch the Nets last night, and guess what? They look terrible. Oh gosh. You know what? I can't. I can't with this team. They had a lead in the fourth quarter, and they end up losing. So you know what? Now I can see, and I can be frustrated with the Nets the rest of the way. All right, the World Cup is going on, and yes, England and the United States played to a 0-0 draw yesterday. And yesterday it was something else because, like I said, a half-drunk guru was out there trying to, shop and do all the other stuff, but yet and still, dragged out there. But yet and still, I got a chance to watch the game. Not too much other stuff. We still haven't had any baseball movement. We haven't heard anything. We know that Aaron Judge is out there, and he's out there in San Francisco now, and he's out there trying to, see if he can secure a deal or whatever. So we don't know what he's going to do. Fantasy-wise, I want to tell you guys that, like I said, I mentioned before, my fantasy team lost last week because I didn't have Geno Smith. On my main team, I didn't have Geno Smith. I didn't have Tom Brady. But still, this week, I think we're going to be pretty good. We're going to crush this other team. And I'm looking at maybe my team in a 13-week schedule winning 11-2. But we're probably going to end up in the 3rd seed because last week when I lost to the number 1 team. And I got to give credit where credit is due. He's going to be, he's going to be really, really good and hard to beat in the playoffs come playoff time. Poo-poo of the week, I'm not going to really get into the poo-poo of the week because really Jacksonville and the Raiders are going to probably end up doing that for this week. So I'm going to wrap this thing by telling you guys that I really appreciate you listening, and I hope that you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. As you know, like I said, the Guru picked all 3 games of the Thanksgiving. No problem. Automatic. Guru's always perfect, so you ain't got to worry about anything there. The game is about ready to start, and I got to wrap this thing up before the game starts because I want to make sure that I have my full attention on Ohio State, Michigan. Okay, so I want to wrap this thing up by saying this is, follow me on YouTube at the Guru of Sports Show on YouTube. Facebook, I'm at Guru Daily Shorts. You can find me at Guru's Briscoe on Facebook. And believe me, I really enjoy all the conversations and all the interaction I have. And like I said before, I sent out a tweet saying that I really appreciate everyone that I talk to. Even if I haven't met you, I really appreciate you. So, my gratitude and my biggest thanks is making sure that I appreciate everything that you guys do. Catch me on IG, Guru Talkin Sports _podcast on IG. This will be out probably a little bit later on the day. And like I said, this is an early podcast for me. This is actually the day before NFL picks, and it's also the big game, right before the big game. Twitter, follow me at MacGTS _BB39 on Twitter. podcast outlets. You can find me at Spreaker, Spotify, Podchasers, iTunes, iHeart, wherever you find your podcast. That's where I'm at. Find me, listen to the show, and rate and review, subscribe, and do all that other good stuff that you do with podcasts. But listen is the main thing, and I really appreciate you listening. All right, big props and shout outs to the Mary Mac Show on Grief. We're touch base with Mary Mac, and I want to say thank you for all your support, and I support you always. And make sure that you go to Grief Authority, and she's got some good stuff going on. She mentioned something to me about she's got something going on, and baby boomers are interested, and it's a good thing because I'm definitely now a baby boomer. All right, so Jeff Duarte, College Sports News, really appreciate you. Always appreciate you. Thank you, sir. And like I said, I am still a part of the College Sports News family. I just, tied up, and I'm going to do something pretty soon. The young GM, my cousin Curtis and his grandson, we appreciate you. Listen to their podcast. They always have something going on that's good. My baseball insider, Mr. Dave May Jr., appreciate you. And like I said, he's the king of this podcast. He's been on more times than anyone. So like I said, if you want to get on, you come on. You're always welcome. I welcome everybody. Their point of view. You even see I even welcome in a Michigan fan today. So I like everybody. I even let Eagle fans in here. Hell, Caden Guru is an Eagle fan. I'll let him come in here. Shout out to everybody out there. Caden Guru is my executive producer and board op who's never here. So we still say props to him. Ray Guru is my technical advisor and musical director. We appreciate you. Dante Guru is our backup co-host and show advisor. Appreciate you. The voice actress lady, we appreciate your voice, and we appreciate you as well. Cousin Aaron, our co-host, rest in peace. We always give him shouts and props because we love him and we miss him very dearly. My motto and saying is this has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Sports. Copyright 2022, all rights reserved. We don't hate, we always create. We don't hate, we always create. And we congratulate and we don't steal from nobody. I know I've been saying it for the longest time and I still can't get it right. That's how the Guru is. Guru Talking Sports podcast. Hashtag use that and a hashtag big props. Appreciate you. All right. Now, I know I haven't given any shout outs in a long time, but I want to give some shout outs. And I want to say that I did talk to my man Rick in Buffalo. He's doing okay. Family's okay. And everybody, and, up there in Buffalo, we appreciate you. Mel, up there in Buffalo, we appreciate you, and hopefully everything is okay. We know that, it wasn't good when all that 7 feet of snow or whatever dumped on you guys. And, I had to move to football games and everything. Bella B, Calgary, we appreciate you. Jeff in Southland, like I said, my man Rick in Buffalo, appreciate you. Mel. Dixieland Dan and all my D aliens, I appreciate you guys, every single one of you. Even my man Robb, who was in here as a Michigan fan. Like I told you, I'm fair. Guru's always fair. So, let you know that. All right, Justin, Coach, my man Dave Shepard, all the people on the DA show, D aliens everywhere, I love you guys. Charlie Rogers, Chris Kerwin, the king right now of the fantasy league, and I gotta bow down to him and give him his props because he's leading our league right now. Well deserved and well earned. I hate that word deserved. I never say that word deserved. Well earned victory last week over me and my team, and he is the number 1 seed right now in our league. Kate, appreciate you. Betty. All the guards out at work, we appreciate you. My man Hunter, my man Tony, I appreciate you. Garrett, everybody out there, Betty, Christian, everybody, appreciate you guys. We really appreciate you guys. You guys are excellent, and I enjoy just working with you guys and talking to you guys. You guys are the best. And you know how crazy I am, and I make you guys crazy as well. But I always respect you guys because I always try to teach Caden and Dante to respect authority, and that's what we do. We respect authority. Denise Hyde, good friend, appreciate you. You know, hopefully you're doing well. Everything's good with you. Jeff Brown, Keith Stewart, my man Big Al, and his son Kareem, Jamie Dorsey, Mike Fox, and I want to mention some of Aaron's people, Miss Ann, Anya Myers, her husband Vernon, Alicia Holt, Cowboy fan, Sheila Brooks, Gerard Pinkney, all of you guys. We really appreciate you guys for listening to this. Last but not least, I want to thank my cousin Dame and my Uncle Gary for always listening and always giving me the support. And, you know, family is family, and I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I love all you guys. I love even Michigan fans. I love you guys too. I don't know why, but Michigan fans, I love you guys. All right, so we're out of here. Big game is getting ready to start. And I'm going to leave you with this. I know that we always leave you with a moment of silence. I will do that at the end. But I want to say that this has been a Black Goat production for Black Goat Sports. And we will see you back here next week for episode 143 of the Guru Talkin Sports Podcast. Right now, we're going to go to the Ohio State Buckeyes fight song. Thank you guys, and now a moment of silence for Cousin Aaron, and we will be out of here.